Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. This is, we're going to start today's session with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance by Mrs. Valerie Guzman. Please rise.
Heavenly Father, as we gather for this council meeting, we ask for your wisdom and clarity. May your Holy Spirit guide our discussions and decisions, ensuring that we serve the best interests of our community. Open our hearts and minds to new ideas and help us work with integrity. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our servicemen and women who have fought and died for our freedom, and for all those who continue to serve around the world, protecting our way of life. Thank you. I'll now call this meeting to order. This is a City of Hardeeville regular city council meeting in 205 Main Street, Hardeeville, South Carolina, February 5th, 2026 at 4 p.m. First order of business is to approve today's agenda. May I have a motion to approve, disapprove, or make any changes to today's agenda?
so moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, we are going into executive session to the receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to pending, threatened, or potential claims or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege or the settlement of legal claims in accordance with South Carolina Code of Law 30-4-78-2. We will be discussing the moratorium for Mr. John Smith. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We will return promptly at 5 p.m. With a special guest appearance. We'll see you all then.
Jess, I can
Test,
hear
test,
you.
test.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, James.
Good, good. All right.
You start. Oh yeah. Hello, hello. Can you hear me, guys? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Yes. Thank
All
you
right.
so
Good
much.
to go.
We have a special guest appearance, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Steve Mearsman. I am going to pass the gavel, and I'm going to sit back and take it easy. And Mr. Mearsman is going to chair today's meeting. There's the gavel. Don't throw it at
gavel
anyone
lays down.
in the public, and otherwise, the meeting is all yours, Mr. Mearsman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome, everybody. We've already began our meeting. We had an executive session. Our next order of business is we've approved our agenda. We are into public comments, and I'm going to read this before we have public comments. Yes, I do
Our
need a
rule
motion
of-
to come out of executive session. Make motion, do I have a second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we can go to public comment. Rules for public comment. We are now entering the public comment portion of our meeting. We ask you to direct your comments at this time to the council as a whole. We welcome any comments on matters appearing on the agenda or those that are within our control. Some matters are better addressed to the county council or your state representatives. Please avoid personal attacks on members of our community, city staff, or council member, being mindful that these proceedings are being broadcast and are available to be heard by children and others at home watching. With that, do we have public comments? You have a 3-minute time limit.
No, sir, no one signed up.
Do we have none signed up? Do I have a motion to close public comment?
Not necessary.
So moved. I've been told it's unnecessary to have that motion, so we will move on. All right, we have introduction of a special events and marketing manager, Reagan Everett. This will be by PRT Director Jennifer Combs.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Come on up, Reagan. We are excited to introduce our new Special Events and Marketing Manager. This is Reagan Everett. I'm going to turn it over to her so she can tell you a little bit about herself. But again, we're super excited to have her. As you know, events in the city are very important, so she's ready to have some fun.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you all for having me. I am honored and excited to be joining the City of Hardeeville as your Special Events and Marketing Manager. The past few years, I've been running my own business in the private sector, and prior to that, I had been working in Savannah at one of the museums there as their community relations and events manager, and I've also spent time in Statesboro, Georgia, working with their Convention and Visitors Bureau. While I was in grad school. My background is history. I actually have a master's and bachelor's in history, but I specialized in public events. They call it public history. And I want to bring a little bit of that heritage to events and bringing a little bit more sense of community to Hardeeville as we plan these events and getting more of our population involved moving forward. But again, I thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council, questions?
Yes, I did. I love it there. I love Georgia Southern, and I'm very happy to be still staying in the area where I get to be around other Eagles.
Okay. Anything else?
Welcome.
Welcome. And
Thank you,
best
Ms.
wishes.
Everett. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Item B, we have the introduction, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, because this is one of those great names introduction of media intern. I'm gonna butcher this.
J5th.
Takia.
Yes.
I got the second part right. And this is going to be, he's going to be introduced by, well, not James Kimbrell, we know that.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everybody. In an effort where Hardeeville's growing, the media department is growing. We're trying to serve the community better. We're trying to produce more video, more content. We know from the strategic planning meeting, there's a lot more initiatives and things that are coming our way. And in our preparations last year, James came up with the idea of, hey, let's start an intern program. And then this intern program will just be something that's just ongoing for the city within the media department. And it's just a chance for us to grow the department and to provide education at the same time. And so Japheth is the first person. This is our, I wouldn't call it a test run because we're well prepared for him to be here. But he's coming to us from Georgia State College and Georgia College and State. There's a difference. And I'll let him introduce us, but he started 2 weeks ago and we're excited to have him in the media department.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I think this is an amazing opportunity, and as a student, from everything I've been told, from the interviews, and from all the projects that I'm seeing, I can tell that this is an amazing spot to be in, and I'm just so happy to and grateful to have this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're stepping into an amazing department in an
Yeah.
amazing city. Council?
There's some very gifted people working in our media department, and you, like you said, you have come to the best place, and Daniel will show you the ropes.
We have a lot of fun. We had our first meeting with the mayor this morning where he got to experience creativity in action. So we're excited.
I'm anxious to see his work at the State of the City address. And I do have to admit, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that I told him not to coach you before the meeting on how to pronounce his name.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Just
much.
evil.
Yeah, but I couldn't help.
Well, welcome, and we look forward to seeing more off of you as we proceed.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing your input into the State of the City. You're coming right into the middle of our creative season.
All right. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. Next on our agenda is presentation and approval of the minutes of the January 22nd regular city council meeting. Is there any corrections, approval, disapproval, or any changes to the minutes for the January 2026 meeting?
I make a motion that we approve as written.
Second, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. We move into old business. We have none this evening. New business. This is item A under new business. This is the first reading of an ordinance to annex into the city of Hardeeville TMS 0390001-003 and 03900-01-030 and 039-00-01-032, consisting of approximately 111 plus or minus acres of real estate located in Jasper County, not already within the Hardeeville city limits, as well as all adjacent public rights-of-way, railroad rights-of-way, waters, lowlands, and wetlands. This is 2026-02-05A. This is a public hearing. To begin this, I will recognize City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This item and the two additional items that followed this, so items A, B, and C on tonight's agenda are all related to the same project, and that is the Pintail Creek development. So item A is the request to annex the property into the city. Item B is approval of the zoning classification for that property, and then the last one would be adoption and approval of the master plan that's been submitted for this development. Brianna, would you please provide us some more information about this application?
Thank you. This has gone there. Oh, excuse me. First, there is a typo on the agendas, and the clerk has there's one additional parcel number, and the clerk has that to put in the record, and we will have the ordinances amended for the next. For second reading. So I hope that clarifies a little bit. That all the documentation you got does have all of the parcel numbers included in there as well. This is located off of Speedway Boulevard and Purriesburg Road intersection down right next to Fire Station 84 and Riverport area. It's the old Pintail Creek Golf Course. Some photos that we've seen of the area. The course has been out of use for a number of years, obviously. And there are a few residents that I think there are 7 residences approximately that are scattered in and around this area. And also off of Highway 17, there's some commercial uses in the gun range. This is the proposed master plan, conceptual master plan and master plan for the project. It will be a number of smaller flex space warehouse type buildings for smaller users, not the big warehouses like we see at Riverport. We did discuss this a lot at the workshop, so I'm not going to get into all the details, and the applicants are here to give you more information. Total of 111 acres, limited industrial and general commercial retail type uses. The land use element of the comp plan does recommend that we consider these annexation requests with specific criteria. One of this is to fill in the donut holes, and this is clearly a donut hole in that area. And to make sure that we're focusing on the impacts to the environment, quality of life improvements, and health, safety, and welfare. Transportation element recommends the city require connectivity between parcels as appropriate. We have certainly gone over that one. We're working with them to make sure they have connectivity to Riverport Parkway as well as 17. And the land use element and natural resources elements ask for the open space, and this project does have a minimum of 25% open space, a minimum of 8.33% active open space. They are going to have trails and bike and pedestrian ways and employee picnic areas scattered throughout this, because the terrain of the old golf course adds to the ability to have some nice open spaces out there. And the applicant is proposing a minimum of 50-foot buffer for the perimeter of the PDD. Staff, a recommendation from the Planning Commission. They had given us a number of conditions. We discussed those at the workshop previously. Those have all been addressed and are included in your packet. From the council workshop, there were a number of different things. We were asked about the residential uses, and as I said, there are approximately 7 units out there, houses and mobile homes. There are some road concerns. Those roads will be improved, and they will have to be improved by the applicant, by the developer. Fire serviceability. Katie and I met with the fire marshal, Chief Rao, and he has given us some road distances. He said not only will it be serviced by 84, but it also has appropriate road distance for 81 to be, so it will have 2 stations that will be able to access it. We are, as I mentioned, working on that Riverport Parkway connectivity, which was very important for everyone, and communication with the adjacent residents. And this, they have done a lot of input and conversations with the adjacent residents and neighborhood, and have even purchased, I believe, a parcel or so. The owner developer, I think, is available through our Teams system. But in the time being, I'm going to turn it over to Todd Mayo. Sorry, I messed up the computer. So Katie's going to pull that back up, and if you want your presentation, you plug it in right there.
Let's see.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I appreciate you having me again. On behalf of the Pintail Creek Development, I'm Todd Mayo, Vice President for Omega Construction based in Savannah, Georgia. I've got Nathan Stir with Stir Engineering, Civil Engineer of Record. And like we said, Oleg Mitnick, our owner and developer, is on the phone right now via Teams. As you know, we've had some bad weather. Travel's been a little tricky, and so he's based out of New Jersey. Did want to be a part of the meeting, and so we've actually got him Teamed in here in case anybody would like to ask any questions specifically. He's happy to chime in to answer any questions that we may have. Just figured I could buzz through a few things, hit on a few high points. We visited this before. Again, these are some of the current site conditions, just to reiterate what was said a few minutes ago. I know there was some question about the state of the property, some of the preservation stuff, but as you can see from the photos, you know, there's still some existing golf cart pathways, some of the old ponds that are still there. And so there's really, the property itself is close to being at grade now. So there's not a lot of dirt to be brought in here. There won't be a lot of impact from truck traffic coming and going, building up the sites like a lot of these industrial parks that you see. So we're within 10 inches or so of grade potentially, and a lot of the on-site material that we'll be excavating from the ponds will be used on the property. So not a lot of impact of truck traffic, motor graders and some backhoes to start clearing and grading is really the first operation of business. Did want to kind of reiterate, I know there had been some concern about the initial marketing proposal for the site of it being million square foot buildings. That's obviously not what we're doing here. As you can see, these are all very small buildings in perspective with a typical industrial park. The heights on these buildings are a lot smaller, 20, 24 foot clear, which is a lot lower than most of the 36, 40 foot clear buildings that you see on the industrial parks close by. Our owner is committed to phasing this. This is not going to be one huge master development that will all take shape in one shot. He's going to be very strategic. He's going to be very methodical about bringing in built-to-suit customers to build out their spaces. It won't be spec warehouses like we see in Savannah and y'all's market right now that's sitting empty. These buildings will be filled up before they're constructed or committed before they're constructed. So he's got a lot of activity right now from local businesses, that we are soliciting, or he's soliciting now. And so again, they will be filled as needed before the adjoining phases will be taken on. One thing I wanted to make point is within that first phase is the main infrastructure of the entry road. And so that will take a lot of any impact off the existing roadways, keeping truck traffic coming and going out of the new entry to the property. So that's part of phase one. Just to really kind of illustrate what we're looking at here, as you can see this Riverport south of it, you can see the difference in the size of the buildings, a lot more dense, smaller, industrial flex warehouse space like was said a few minutes ago. Here's a list of some potential tenants. Oleg has been in contact. We've got a ton of activity right now of people that are interested, ballet academies, Savannah Hardscapes, golf cart retail and distributor, Alpha Graphics, a Red Bull distributor, some tractor parts company is looking at it. So again, these are local businesses that I think will provide a lot of great opportunity for local places to work. Not a lot of heavy truck traffic, industrial traffic. You're looking at smaller delivery trucks, parts and tool trucks coming and going from these warehouses. They do not have dock doors. These are all, at grade buildings. So a few recessed ramps to allow some loading, but you won't see big dock doors and heavy truck traffic like you see on the industrial buildings. A few of the proposed development components, obviously it's just light industrial. There'll be commercial and retail. We've addressed the open space, wetlands, civiculture, mitigation banks, and roads and utilities. Just a few of the schematic renderings, just wanted to kind of give you a little perspective on what they'll look like. Again, you can see they're not really tall. They will have individual signage for these tenants, a little bit nicer retail facades like you would see on a flex warehouse, to have a little bit more character than a big concrete square box. So just wanted to kind of share a couple of those images for you. Wanted to run through a few of the updates from the meetings. We have really tried to be focused on paying attention to what we've been hearing in these meetings, the feedback that we've gotten from not only council, but the commission, just about the things that we need to be really paying attention to. I did want to reiterate that Oleg has been 100% committed to the community, the owners. I have talked to multiple owners in the last 30 days. We've kept a very open line of communication. We did a dinner over there, and I hosted an event to have anybody that wanted to come ask questions come and ask, and I served them some food, handed out some brochures, gave them some information. So, I will tell you that I feel personally that our owner has gone above and beyond to really try to start illustrating that he wants to be a part of this community and make sure that he meets the criteria that the city would like to impose. We have met the open space requirements, like was spoken about a little while ago. We have implemented the green spaces, walking trails, living buffers, and the tree saved areas. I know one of the things that came out of the last meeting was, about the living buffers, and I will tell you, our owner is committed to whatever types of living buffers we want to use. I know there's some talks about some local vegetation that seems to work in Hardeeville. We're open to that, and whatever that looks like, height and mass wise, would be more than happy to consider that. This gives you a little bit idea of where the walking space and green space is compared to the density of the project. I will tell you, we have not maximized the footprint of this project. There's the ability to add about another 1 million square feet to this piece of property, but our owner is committed to leaving the green space and not maximize the density to try to be a good partner in this project. Here's an illustration to kind of give you an idea of the trees that are in the dark gray. Those are the trees that are out there that are existing, and the image on the right shows where those trees will kind of lay in the new development. So you can see we're protecting almost every tree that still remains out there. There's not a lot of trees, but the ones that are there, I feel like we've done a pretty good job, or Nathan has, of laying these buildings out to save as much as we possibly can. I think that's it. So appreciate you giving me an opportunity to present this again. Just wanted to kind of refresh everybody's memory on what we've been working on since the meetings, and just reiterate that myself and Nathan and our owner are committed to taking whatever feedback is presented to us and making sure that we implement that into the plans moving forward. So thank you again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now it's going to be time for council questions, and out of respect for the mayor, I'm going to let him go last, even though I'm running this meeting, but I'm going to start with Mr. Carroll.
The only thing, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, we talked about, and we did in the workshop too, about the 50-foot buffer. I am familiar with that vegetation and stuff out there. Is the 50-foot buffer going to be enough with those? That's the one question that I have, considering that vegetation with those houses that are there and some of the other stuff. Is that going to be enough?
I think if the buffer includes, as we were mentioning, that living fence thing that we've been using, or not thing,
I know what you're talking about,
materials
that certain
that we've
trees
been
and stuff
talking about.
that Josh and I came up with for Red Dam and stuff. Yes, sir.
Yep. We feel like, and Katie and I went out there today again, just to put our eyes on it again. And I do believe that from what we're hearing and what we see from professional experiences, that area will be protected. A lot of those walking trails are right by those homes too, or right near those homes. So I think we'll be
Okay, that was my, because we had kind of left it when we were in workshop. Okay, that's it.
Just to add to that, we actually added language into the document that kind of specifies those types of plantings, so it's actually written into our document that we
Okay.
have to use that.
Sound like y'all really,
Yes, sir. Once we get an idea of what that is and what it needs to look like, I think it's just a matter of our landscape architect and Nathan, getting those specifications finalized, and then we'll be more than happy to implement it however we see fit.
Mr. White?
Thanks for the feedback on John's point. No questions on my side.
Mrs. Guzman?
I have a couple questions. I took a ride down that way to take a look at the property and see for myself what's entailed in there. The egress and ingress on 416, I think that road is 27 dash whatever, is very poor and dangerous. I just want to know what kind of road improvements Mr. Metnick is planning on doing.
I can speak to this. So you can see we're going to increase that radius around that Purrysburg bend there.
I think you can could you hold that button to the pointer?
So right here, we're doing a decel lane along Highway 17, 2 decel lanes, one to the right in, right out, and one to the full access at Purrysburg. As a part of this project, DOT is going to make us do a pavement analysis of both Purrysburg and Pintail Creek Drive, and it'll be the responsibility of the developer to ensure that those roads can hold up to the truck traffic and the construction traffic that we're proposing to put on them.
So when do you envisage that to get done?
So we would need to pull the encroachment permits before we can disturb the soil. So all of that'll happen, and Katie's team will have a chance to review it before we get out there.
Staff review committee.
And just to point with that, Ms. Guzman, with the first phase is that road work, right? So before any building construction would be done, those road improvements will be done as part of that phase one that we discussed.
And you're talking about the road that comes off of Purisburg Road, that little lane,
Pintail Creek,
416,
yes,
yes, where all those homes are. Because driving down those roads, it's only one in, one out, and there's no room for error. There's no shoulder, there's nothing in there. So my concern is for the people that are still living there is the fact that you're still going to have construction vehicles, you're still going to have cement trucks, you're going to still have 18-wheelers going in there and all of that stuff. To me, right now, without these improvements in place, you guys are creating a dangerous situation on that road for the people who are already there, and not just for them, but the people who are going to be driving those trucks to the construction site and back. So that was one of my concerns. And the other concern that I had was our fire department vehicles. Now, I know Joey has had some discussion with that. I want to know at the end of the game, will it be enough for our fire trucks to get in and out of this area?
Joey said he can't review it today because it hasn't been fully engineered and everything, but that is part of the staff review committee process. They can't build a thing unless the fire department signs off on it during the staff review committee. So absolutely, he is well aware of it. Is actually excited when he looked at the circulation and everything today. So it was very positive.
Because that road is extremely narrow.
Yes, it would have to be
It's
improved
very
greatly.
narrow.
We fully understand that.
So-
I would assume that there will be some shoulder widening or some stabilization that will have to be done as part of this to get that road in the shape it needs to be.
And
So-
Mr. Melnick is going to do that?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Okay. Because, I mean, I know you have the right to build, but I also would like to see that the site plan not only checks the legal boxes for you guys, but also checks the boxes where you're going to be a great neighbor to the surrounding area. Because it's like, right now, those folks, they have nothing to complain about, but, we're going to hear it. We will hear about it. The trucks going up at all hours of the day and, back to back and all of that stuff. And they're trying to get out of the driveway. They can't because of all these vehicles that's going to be stacked behind trying to get to your property and back. We will hear those complaints. So my thing is, as much as you're checking off your boxes, you need to check our boxes where you become a great neighbor.
Yes, ma'am.
To this project. So, and having said that, I know you've stood there and told us over and over again that Mr. Melnick is a great guy, Mitnick is a great guy. So, this could go one of two ways, the way I'm looking at it. It could go that he proves you guys right, that he's a great guy, wants to be a great neighbor, wants to be a great community member, or he can prove you guys wrong. The ball is in his court.
Understood.
That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Okay, well, thank you for the comments.
all right. I just have a few questions. First is lighting of the development. You will abide by our lighting requirements.
Yes, sir.
Second is, by us approving this, we are creating a donut hole, aren't we? We're filling in, but those homes are will remain within, they will remain. Mr. Mallett, as the opportunity comes forward, if he's able to purchase those homes, will he want to annex those back into the city also? I know it's early to ask, but it would solve a problem that we are trying to solve with these donut holes.
I will tell you, within the last 30 to 45 days, I've received inquiries from additional owners that we were not able to reach the first couple times we've done some workshops. who have expressed interest in selling their properties. What Mr. Mitnick has continued to have me reinforce is that we obviously want to make sure this goes through and before we start committing to buying properties and all that. And so he would like to see kind of how this ends up. And then once that happens, then absolutely, I think he's committed to opening up those conversations, looking at fair market values and trying to be a good neighbor, because it does behoove us to have some of that property to close in some of the holes that you're talking about, give a little bit more opportunity to clean up some of that entryway. And so, yes, sir, I think that would be part of the plan. It just right now, there's a little bit of uncertainty on, he doesn't want to make commitments until we know.
It's perfectly understandable that those folks, they currently aren't residents of Hardeeville, but they're still residents, and we have to respect
100%.
respect them. I do believe you're going to have minimum land prep. You've got a pretty clean canvas to start working with
I
there.
don't get this very often, let me just say that.
No, I'm sure you don't. The phasing that you're going to do, is there any estimate of a timeline of phasing, progression of how this, the years, months?
Yeah, years, for sure. I think the first phase is going to be probably a 2 to 3 year piece, and that is in that northern quadrant. So you're looking at, which button did you push? The top one. The top one, sorry. So this area up here would be phase one.
Okay.
And so once that's built out and filled, we would start moving south into that next quadrant south of that top phase, and then keep working our way down. This potentially could be 6, 8, 10 years worth of development, depending on what type of activity and commitment he gets. So that was one thing I did want to really reiterate to not just the council and everyone tonight, but the owners, the residents too, is this is not one big attack on 111 acres at one time, right? It will be, the roadways will be going in, but then that northern quadrant, once it's finished, it will be selectively demoed to start doing the other phases. So a lot longer than a lot of these industrial tracks are being taken down. This project's going to be a lot more strategic and take a little bit more time to fill up.
Okay, because I see you have actually phase alphabetically all the way down to I.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Within this. So
That's right.
you have a ways to go.
Yes, sir.
You've covered the part with the residents, the lights, the spine road that I'm seeing here. Is that going to be done in phases, or is that going to be, the spine road going to be completed and then you work off of that?
The intent is to get that spine road in, right? Not just for access and to take access away from interacting with a lot of the residents in that northern phase, but it's to also have it open so that people can view the property, drive through there, kind of look at the parcels and decide what part of the development they'd like to be in. And so that intent with phase one is to get that roadway and the mass utilities put in at that time. Is that right? And, yeah.
What about the southern entrance that I'm seeing, the long road that hopefully we will connect with Riverport at some time?
Let me say that. So Josh is very in tune with this. We have been very open that our owner has done what I feel like is above and beyond to try to work it out with the adjoining property owners to connect. He's been hit with roadblocks every time he does it. He's offered more money than I've seen in my lifetime to do it. And so at this stage, I told Mr. Gruber that, I feel like our owner's done what he can. I would love to have some help from the city, and it sounds like Josh is committed to doing that, because I think at some point we're going to need y'all's help. With that said, we can't really finalize what that road looks like until we know where it's going to connect and if it's going to connect. And I think that'll be part of the updated drawings once we've committed and we've been told we can do it. Then I think that'll we may move that around a little bit to accommodate wherever the tie-in ends up being. But right now, our intent is for it to connect somewhere in that southwestern corner of the development.
Okay, but y'all's intent is that when you do decide where it's going to go, you're going to build the road all at once?
Yes, sir, that's the
Okay,
intention.
so you're not going to just be phasing that road in. Okay, that makes a lot of sense and takes a lot of the added traffic on. I mean, once you get your infrastructure in and done, the big vehicles that would be going are done and gone away. The last thing I have to ask is this: if you find any of my golf balls out there when you do the land prep, can I have them back?
If they're Pro Vs, I'm going to take them.
Okay. With that, I will defer to the mayor.
I think first it would be kind of nice to meet Mr. Mitnick.
Mr. Mitnick? Yeah, absolutely.
Can we have him introduce himself?
Yes, sir. Oh, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Hi. How are you, Council? Thank you very much, everyone, for the time and attention to this project. We've been working on it for over 2 years. And, we've been doing construction for over 25 years, and majority, it was smaller and medium-sized warehouses. When we purchased land in Hardeeville, we were not 100% sure what we were making. But then after we received, over a period of last 2 years, hundreds of phone calls from different local companies who servicing Hardeeville, Beaufort area, also Hilton Head, and they all try to be somewhere around Hardeeville and Route 17, and majority of the needs, it's somewhere from 3,000 to maybe 20,000 or 15,000 square feet warehouse with specific parking needs, office needs, specific demands on a space they want to take, and that's what kind of our plan is, continue improving all those things which you mentioned. The roads, we did spend a lot of time with Riverport to have a connections. We have multiple meetings. In regards to the entrance to the property, we want to put the roads as soon as we start the construction. The entrance right now, which exists and which we're going to increase, it's just one entrance. The main entrance is the second entrance, which is going to be kind of independent entrance right in and right out from Route 17, which should not bother any local residents, I hope. But we will be willing to do whatever it takes to make sure we're not going to disturb peace and quiet, and to do everything correct to make sure the city residents are happy with us. I don't know if I covered your question, but I'm willing to answer any questions the council may have.
Thank you. I just want to go over some of the questions I had and follow up on some of the questions that I asked at the workshop. I went back out there a few hours ago because I had gone prior and I wanted to look at it again. And so my first question, you talk about phase one right here, right? Right here is a church. Have you talked to that church? Is there going to be, I don't know if there's a concern I should have about the church. Is that, do you know they only open on Sunday?
From what we have seen, yes, sir. I have not been in contact myself. I know that, with typical construction means and methods, we will put in construction fencing, buffers. We work most of the time, Monday through Friday. So, we will obviously respect them during that time, and if there's any issues with timing, and make sure that we comply with any of those requests.
I think as a good neighbor, I would like you to reach out to the church and let them know what's going to be happening and when. So if they have planned activities, maybe at least they know what's going on. Maybe they can work around it, or you can help them.
And to speak to that, they have received public notice letters for all of the different phases of this project, so they have had the opportunity to comment if they wanted to.
Yeah, but I think,
Yeah, no,
this is a church.
I agree 100%. We deal with
give
this
them a
all the
call.
time. Yes, we're construction. We make money when we work fast, but I also am very comfortable working around residences and know that there's certain times where we, need to cut down on activities, and we're more than willing to comply with
Yeah,
that.
just ask them.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, and so you're not pulling out trucks when they have kids coming in for Sunday school or something, right? Just ask them. It won't hurt. So now, what I saw last time and again today, right now you're going to have this going up to here towards the church, right? That's phase one. And then you're going to come down into here, and this is where the homes are. There's a bunch of homes in there. There's also some pretty nice homes that have large living buffers along here. But they're nice homes. They have well set up, well set back. This road here, and this road going up to the church, Mrs. Guzman referenced it, are very narrow, and they're not in the greatest of shape. No shoulder, no nothing. What are your plans to improve these roads so that even without residents, and there are a few in here, we have a proper two-lane road in both directions?
So when we get into the detailed design of this site, we will design to SCDOT standards. These are state roads, and we'll have to comply with them. DOT requires a shoulder, so we will be improving that shoulder to when we are looking at the analysis of the existing roads. So they're going to ask for that as well, SCDOT will.
Okay, so is that something that we go in site review? And I noticed too, down in this area, that really is a little choppy. It could probably use some immediate repair. You know what I'm talking about? You guys been. So, yeah, and especially with it coming off a highway and a bend, that section in there could use some
Yeah, there's actually a
remediation.
driveway there too that.
Yeah, there's a
Oleg-
driveway.
He's worked with that owner and told that owner he would actually slide it over and pave them their own new driveway if they would like, where we could have that turn there in a little bit better shape. So I think we're definitely committed to improving that, and Oleg has shown that, he's willing to add some cost to help the neighbors with that entrance to that property too.
Okay. And you answered one of my big questions, and that's the road to Riverport.
Yes, sir.
And you work with Mr. Gruber.
Yes, sir. Yes, we have.
We'll have a little chat with them.
We're going to have several chats with them.
Yes, and I'll be happy to be part of that chat if you'd like me to. Yes, we will. We're anxious to have an interconnected city. It's one of the things in our master plan. So if we need connection, we'll make some connections.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. And you say you're going to build when you have them filled. Does that mean what kind of ownership is this going to be? Rentals, or do they buy it like a condo? How does it work?
It's a rental. It's a long-time rental.
Long-time rental. So this is in the opportunity zone?
It is.
It is, okay. All right, I think we got it. Give me 1 second, I'm flipping back to my notes from the workshop, and I want to make sure I have. Okay. And we talked about the secondary road. I think, oh, yeah, here's one. What part of New Jersey?
I'm in Newark, New Jersey. I'm right in the port of Newark, since we are a transportation company. So
Right.
I'm sitting in the port, Newark, New Jersey.
Okay, I'm from Mawa.
Oh, just around the corner.
That's why I was,
Curious, yes.
Jersey.
Yeah, 32 years I'm here in the port of Newark, New Jersey.
is anybody left in New Jersey? Or are they all down in South Carolina?
We're the only private company left. Everybody got bought out, closed down, got pushed over by the big shipping lines. We're the only one left over privately owned company, or we rent from Port Authority, New York and New Jersey. We're the last one standing.
Okay, well, let me just make sure, we're gonna get the roads improved, and that was one of my biggest concerns. We have the active open spaces, there's trails, so
Yes, sir.
your workers can,
And we added some parking too, some public parking into the latest revision to kind of go with those walking trails and parked areas for the public to park at.
You know, you brought up a good question, because I'm one of the few people in South Carolina who still drives a sedan. With these parking spaces, are we making them bigger than in the past years? Because nobody drives sedans anymore. Me and Mr. Harper are the only one, and everybody's got a pickup truck except me and Mr. Harper. Right, Mr. Harper? You and I are the only ones that have sedans left in the whole South Carolina.
So, staff review committee, as part of the process, while we have parking sizes, like stall dimensions and everything, as a minimum in our ordinance, we require what's called a parking justification. So we look at the specific users and who may be coming there, what they may need. We use known data at, like, you know, you see names like Culligan, they know what they have and what they need and everything. They provide us with that information, not only at site development permitting, but then when the site development permit's complete and they come to get their zoning permit for their individual business. So we will look at that several times and make sure that they're adequately sized before they move in.
Yeah, particularly with that kind of use, they're probably all pickups even bigger than John's.
I hope so.
Okay. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for your courtesy. I'm finished.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Guzman.
Mr. Gruber, all of these things that's being agreed to, these are going to be this will run with the land, correct?
To a large degree. I mean, a couple of the things we've talked about with the improvements, I don't know that they would necessarily run with the land, but some of the conditions that we've put in there, yes, we can certainly incorporate those into what we are approving so that if they're recorded, they become part of the chain of title of that property.
Okay, and also that they're also aware that they cannot make any unilateral changes once this is approved, correct?
Correct. Once the master plan is approved, they can make minor changes, and those typically are things that don't affect density, they don't affect use, they don't affect the layout. They really are truly minor in nature. Otherwise, they must come back and seek an amendment from you all.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Any others from council? With that, do we have anybody from the public or the internet? Yes, please step up, your name, address, and number. Your 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kathy DeCourcy, 782 Tickton Hall Road, Ridgeland, South Carolina. I remember being here for the Planning Commission meeting. I was just looking through my notes. This was not brought to Jasper County first, even though it is in unincorporated Jasper County. I know that they received notice from the city saying that this was up for annexation, but if you don't go to the county first, to me, it looks like zone shopping. While this might be a good plan, we know that there's development all around this area. We have Riverport, we have the whole Perrysburg area. Do we really need this when we already have lots of warehouse spacing already approved? This is a great buffer in its rural preservation state for that huge development, and I think it would be better used for active open space to create a buffer from what we're doing to that whole Perrysburg area. And unlike previous PDDs and master plan proposals approved by earlier councils, this request is now being presented to the current city council for consideration. It has been often expressed that much of the existing development received approval in early 2000s, while those prior decisions have led to logistical challenges and safety concerns throughout this area, insufficient roadways, insufficient infrastructure, and the outcome of this approval or denial presents an opportunity to address and improve upon past decisions. This development will be your legacy, not prior councils. I ask you to deny this annexation and that we leave some open space. That wildlife is going to be disturbed when you start digging into the massive development in Perrysburg area. This will give a respite area for those creatures to go to. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gurley. If I may say, this is our first reading. It will come back for a second reading before final approval. Any other questions from the public or from the internet?
There's nothing on Facebook.
Thank you. Seeing that, I will ask for a motion for approval, disapproval, or any changes to the first reading of ordinance 2025-02-05A. Do I have a motion?
So move for approval.
Motion made for approval.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
One caveat that though, Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I have been working on these people here for years to pronounce Purisburg.
I was thinking about that. when
Pronounce
he
it.
was growing up.
Purisburg.
It's Purisburg.
Council Carroll has been trying to teach me to speak Southern for a few years, and
He's getting better.
thank you. All right, item B. Item B is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Hardyville, South Carolina to rezone TMS number 039-00-01-003 and 039-00-01-030 and 039-00-01-032 from rural preservation, community, commercial, and residential districts in Jasper County to Planned Development District, PDD, in the city of Hardyville for a tract of land consisting of approximately 111 acres plus or minus, known generally as Pintail Creek Planned Development District, and amend the official zoning map of the city of Hardyville. This is ordinance 2026-02-05B. I will start with the council. I will start to my left this time with Ms. Guzman.
I don't have any questions, Mayor Pro Tem.
Councilman White?
No questions.
Councilman Carroll?
No, sir, no questions.
I have no questions. Mayor Williams?
I have no further questions. I did vote yes to the annexation. I think that one of the reasons why I like this particular product is that these are, 2 stories, and it will service small businesses. I think that separates it to be a different product than what you see at Riverport. And as we found out from Freedom Industrial Park, there is a good demand for that, and I think that will invite more smaller businesses in here, and I like that. The concerns are always public safety, and we address the concerns about getting the roads in there, and I think that a secondary road to connect to Riverport Parkway is key to this. And I understand that that timetable is not your fault. But I think it's very key that be finalized in a timetable. Even though Phase 1 won't be impacted, I think that's key to the ultimate success of this development in this product. And so I favor what we're doing.
All right. Is there any questions from the public or from the internet? Seeing none, I'm sorry, I jumped out of city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. As I indicated earlier, this item is the second of 3 items to be voted upon. They're all together as a group. So the first one was bringing the property into the city. Now that we are looking at bringing the property into the city, we have to assign it the zoning classification, and that is what this item does.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, I am going to ask for a motion for approval, disapproval, or any changes to first reading of ordinance 2025-02-05B. Do I have a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve 2026-02-05B.
That is 2025.
The 2026-02-05B.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Sorry. It's got 2 different.
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem. That was me. I
All
apologize.
right, thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item C is in conjunction with the first 2. This is a first reading of an ordinance to adopt a master plan submittal for a tract of land consisting of approximately 111 acres plus or minus, known generally as Pintail Creek, located off of Purysburg Road
Getting there. Pure.
and US Highway 17 in the Pintail Creek Plan Development District, and to indicate that portion subject to the master plan. I am going to ask for a public hearing. Is there anybody from the public or the internet? Seeing none, I will ask city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So this is the last of the 3 items, and what this item does is it adopts the master plan. So this is where the buildings, the roads, the layout of the physical structures and infrastructure will be on the site.
All right, thank you very much. I will start with Councilman Carroll this evening.
No questions, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, except I would like to add a comment that I have been, as I'm gonna echo what Mayor said, very impressed with the quality of not only of the representatives, but of this project.
All right, Councilman White,
I would echo what John said.
Councilwoman Guzman.
Actually, it's, the comment that I wanted to make was to thank the developer for going above and beyond in trying to be a good neighbor. It is very important that when you're coming into a new place, that you don't rock the boat. You leave it better than what you found it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I have no further questions. I believe this is a good product for the location that it is, and I think it serves a growing need for the city of Hardeeville. Mayor Williams?
Just in, to react to some concerns, has the proper inventory, are there any endangered species, any wildlife, that know we have a situation with bats in this area? Has that all been done?
Yes, sir. We had ECS Environmental go out. They did a natural resources determination and archaeological and historical kind of significance study, and they determined that there was no real concerns, and that's all available in our PD packet.
So just asking about one of the obvious things, are there deer out there?
I'm sure there's one or two. Yes, sir.
And when we build, where will they go?
So those deer are probably more located on the Riverport property, as this is a big open golf course property, so they may come out to graze, but they're living back in the Riverport development more often.
So I guess the core of my question is, when you build, are there some remaining wooded area, not necessarily on your property, that that the wildlife can migrate to?
Yes, sir. That backside of the property is.
The backside of the
Yes, sir.
property will still be wooded?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
And it again, to Nathan's point, right now, there's not a lot of places for them to hide out there. Most of the brush that's there is very low. And, so they're probably coming out there to eat some, but they're leaving to bed in those treed areas behind the property.
Yeah, but there's, wildlife is not going to stay and watch these buildings being built. They're going to want to go to a more protected area where there's wooded areas and where there's, you may be taking away some watering holes, so they're going to have to migrate somewhere, and that was my question. Do they have a place to migrate to?
Yes, they do. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that answer. That's all, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
All right. Any other questions from council? Seeing none. There is a motion for approval, disapproval, or changes to the first reading of ordinance 2026-02-05C. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve on first reading ordinance 2026-02-05C.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same side. Thank you, that passes. Now, this is all the first reading. They will come back for a second reading. And if you have more input, we will be happy to hear that. Thank you.
Your Honor? I've been waiting all night for
You've
that.
been
That's
waiting
it.
to do that, haven't you?
Could we ask the applicant for second reading? Do we have, we would want to start using our drones. I would like to see the wooded areas that these animals can migrate to. Just an overview and or a map so we can see. I'd like to see what the migration patterns would be.
Yeah, I've got some additional drone photos I'll be happy to
Thank you.
share.
Is that okay, Mr. Mayor
Absolutely
Pro Tem?
fine, if this is what the desire is.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll just pull this up here. So well, let me see. This photo here shows you the area on the right side of your photo there. Okay, you could see that. This area all back in here.
And whose property is that?
That's Riverport.
Yeah.
That's Riverport. So will that someday be developed, Brianna?
Pull up the Riverport exhibit that you did.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
For second reading, we can pull that master plan and bring it and show you. There are, and I know,
It's right here, Bronna. You can see right there that whole chunk that we were just showing you is planned to remain undeveloped.
well,
So
we
what
have
you
the-
just showed me was
Or-
where? In
right
here?
here.
All that right there.
All this.
All
right
that
here.
down
As,
here.
and then what I was going to mention on that one is the wetlands, and you can tell from that there's a significant amount of wetlands that run through this property, and we can certainly bring both color ones together and show you for a second reading.
But yeah, that's the area I thought I had the drone behind it. I've got some additional I can bring, but across this entire space, which is about the same footprint, if not a little bigger than this entire development behind it, will remain undeveloped.
Undeveloped, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So no tree clearing, nothing.
Didn't utilize.
Other than Riverport Parkway.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my opinion, they've got a pretty good place to hide back there.
It would be
Okay.
nice for second reading to have the zone and an overlay, so
Yes, sir.
it's easier to think of. We have to remember, we have to be conscious about the ecology too as we build.
I respect that.
And thank you, Mr. Corsi, for bringing that point to our attention.
All right, anything else? Yes. Yes, and I'd like to thank the owner for joining us, and I would like, if possible, for him to join us for second reading. If there's any other questions, that you gentlemen have done a fine job. but in the past, we usually have a direct communication with the owner, and I understand that it just wasn't possible this time. But it would be nice to be able to have him on the line, if not, if he can't be present for the second reading.
Absolutely,
It's always
absolutely.
good for the public to see who is going to be.
He's a big man now. He's about 6'9", so it can be a little intimidating when you
Our
see
door,
him.
the
That's
door
why
is
we're
7
hiding.
foot, so he can get under there.
That's why we're having him over the phone, because he's a big, scary man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for this
And I
evening.
just wanted to say, this is one of my first experiences doing this, and I can't thank you enough for being just as pleasant to work with, and I've just been very impressed with the professionalism and the entire staff, so thank y'all for everything. I really appreciate it.
Again, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Council. Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, as we move on, we are to item D. Item D is a first reading of an ordinance to adopt a master plan submittal for a tract of land consisting of approximately 28.91 plus minus acres, known generally as townhomes and cottages, Magoon, at East Argent, in the East Argent Plan Development District, and to amend the official zoning map of the city of Hardeeville to indicate that portion subject to the master plan. This is ordinance 2026-02-05D. I will turn this over to City Manager Gruber.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So I want to state at the outset that I'm going to be making a recommendation to you and council to consider postponing action on this item this evening, but I want to kind of explain why we are making that request. And I also want to take an opportunity to apologize to both the applicant and to the community residents. As you're aware, this item came up for workshop, I believe it was back in December.
October 15th.
October, my goodness. Doesn't seem like that much time has gone by, but yeah, okay.
Wise when you're having fun.
So it came up in October. There was a request to have the community engage in discussions with the developer. There was also some additional research items that staff was asked to do. Those things have been done. But partly through myself and through others, I don't know that we clearly communicated to the surrounding community when this item was going to be coming back up on the agenda. And so we never want to be perceived as trying to conduct the public's business outside of the public. And so for that reason, I called the applicant today. I personally apologize to them for not having this teed up like it needs to be. And so for that reason, I'm going to ask that you consider postponing this until the next meeting on February 19th. And during the interim time, we will reach out. We will make sure to formally notify the surrounding residents so that if they do want to come in and speak on this item, they will have an opportunity to do that. So I apologize to you all, and I again apologize to the applicant and the community residents for not having this teed up.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Following procedure, I will ask at this time, is there any public input for this? Or is there anybody on the internet at this time? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion for approval, disapproval, or any changes to first reading of ordinance 2025-2026-02-05D.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I suggest that we take City Manager Gruber's recommendation and table this to our next meeting, which is February 19th.
I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Motion has been made and seconded to table an item. I do believe we need supermajority. Is that, am I correct? Okay. For that, we will take an alphabetical vote, and we will start at the back and work forward. Mayor Williams,
Yes.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilman Mearsman, yes. Councilman Guzman,
Yes.
Councilman Carroll.
Yes.
We have 5 ayes. This motion will be tabled until a time set by
February 19th.
February 19th will be our first reading of that. Thank you very much. Item E, this is resolution to the City of Hardeeville, South Carolina City Council authorizing the city manager to sign a design contract to proceed with design documents on the splash pad project at the intersection of Martin Street and Main Street. This is 2026-02-05E. I will recognize City Manager Gruber.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We're really excited about this project. I know you all are excited about it as well, and so this is hopefully a bright spot in the evening. I've asked Jody to come and give you a presentation on, we put out a request for qualifications on a design team for the splash pad project, and she's going to present to you kind of what they are recommending in terms of awarding that contract for design services.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I know that you all have been anxiously waiting for this project, and so I want to start off with our timeline to give you a little refresh on where we've been, what we've been working on. The last time we met, excuse me, we have since posted the request for proposal for a design team in September. They submitted on January 5th. Our committee met to review those proposals, and here I am today with the recommendations from staff to explain what design teams have submitted. So first I want to go into how many designers do we need? When I talk about a design team, I'm talking about hiring one contract that has multiple designers under that contract. So what I've highlighted in the pink is the architecture work that will be used for the new building, fence, some of the work on the train, the archway, shade sails. A landscape architect is needed for all the plant material, irrigation work, and then our civil engineer would be doing all of the site work for the future parking, infrastructure for drainage, stormwater requirements, and then the splash pad design team is who manufactures the equipment and designs that for the splash pad itself. So 3 different design teams submitted their proposals, and you can see here their total fees are quite drastic from one another. Bolton and Mink is $195,150. The high bid was JQOL at $245, and then the low bid was Nandina Incorporated. So Nandina is primarily a civil engineering firm, and what you'll see in the highlighted areas, the $29,000 number is drastically different from their competitors. When we get proposals in and we see these drastic differences, that's concerning. That means there's risk somewhere because the assumption of the scope of work was not understood. We take their proposals and we have a scoring criteria. That criteria talks about their experience with the city, whether they had proper identification in their team narrative, their personnel size, if they're local. I know you've seen this scoring criteria in the past, but this is how our team internally puts together a score for each one of these proposals. Our team this time was 6 people, our PRT director, our procurement manager, myself, our CIP project manager, Mr. Gruber, and our deputy city manager. And you can see that our staff scored Bolton and Mink at 184 for their total score. JQual, the high bid, was scored at 143, and Nandina came in at 173. Justification for not going low bid. There's loads of experience with Bolton and Mink on their splash pad designs, and not just locally, but all over the country. Their size of their firm is much larger. Their staffing is, in comparison to the low bid, much larger. Their design quality came in, it's apples and oranges. Some of the unrealistic pricing, the civil fee in particular, that's almost $38,000 lower than our mid-range. Again, when I talk about us assuming some risk, there's the get what you pay for. We're concerned about that. And then some past relationships. Some of our staff members have worked with the individuals within the packet that was our medium range bid, the Bolton and Mink people. I wanted to note here that we intend to negotiate the fee prior to awarding this. So if tonight you give us directive that, yes, you want us to move forward with hiring a design team, we will reach out to the design team that scored the highest and ask them to review their pricing and ensure that if there's area for them to come down and be more comparative, that they can do that. The design teams that submitted that we considered very close in their scoring, of course, Bolton and Mink is on the left, and then Nandina is on the right. These came straight out of their proposals, but Nandina had the architect Vicara, which is kind of a one-person shop. Chatham Engineering, we've done a ton of work with. They're out of Savannah, and they've done very well with us. J.K. Tiller is the landscape architect, and none of us have worked with them, but that's, again, a one-person shop. The org chart, I don't think I have to go through the entire org chart on Bolton and Mink, but it's there for you to review if you want to look at some of those firms. And then some of the pictures that were added for the work and experience that Bolton and Mink has done is on this slide. And further vetting that we did, our procurement manager reached out to one of the project managers at Concord, North Carolina, that used Bolton and Mink last year for a design on their splash pad. And this was the recommendation that came back. It's quoted in an email, but essentially they were very responsive, very creative, and they would hire them again. So we are asking the council approve to move forward with hiring a design team to commence these construction documents with a not to exceed total of $195,150. And I know budget may come up as a question. So I'm gonna go to one more slide that I put in the back, but the preliminary budget that I showed last time had a lot of our design fees here at the top at around 10% of our total budget estimated for the build. So we've come in drastically under, which is a great thing. You can see where we estimated the civil to be 120. So again, when we have a firm proposing less than $30,000 on their civil work, that's very concerning. Just knowing the nature of that area and the stormwater requirements and the tie-in that's required for not only the library, but our Memorial Park phase, we know that that's going to be more than a couple sheets. And then I threw in the floor plan and some of the elevations. Again, this was our concept level design work. So it's taking this concept level design work and putting it into CAD and getting it ready for permit. So do you have any questions?
Council, we'll start with Ms. Guzman.
I have no questions.
Councilman White?
I think some of the conclusions you share with us make a lot of sense, and that was some good staff work from my point of view.
Thank you.
Councilman Carroll?
I've got complete confidence in Jody, and I know she does. I've seen her work many times, and if she recommends something, then I support her.
Thank you.
And I know you all do your due diligence. Jennifer back there, Jody, the staffs have been very great. And all I can say is to see this even coming to this point when less than a year and a half ago, it was just an idea to have moved it along this far is absolutely amazing. Thank you. Mayor?
Did you ask Nandina why they're like half, almost more than half of the cost in their civil fee? Why is that?
We have not reached out to Nandina, and I know that our procurement analyst, when reaching out to these folks, first have to come to you with, are we going to move forward with a package? And then it's time we can negotiate with a firm. So in the state of South Carolina, typically, you're not allowed to negotiate based on fee for design teams. You can for contractors, but not for design teams. It's on qualifications. And so now that we have qualified Bolton and Mink and said we're recommending them based on their experience with splash pads and that their quality of work is what we're looking for, we can go back to Bolton and Mink or Nandina and negotiate those fees. But Nandina's price would only have to come up. If I was to go to them and say, are you sure you can get me the complete civil package for $29,000? If they miss something, that's going to be a hard thing for them to say, oh, yeah, we missed $30,000 worth of work. So then they'd have to take on a loss, which we could do that. We can reach out to them and see what they have to say.
I'm curious as to why it is, and because that's clouding their evaluation by quite a bit. And we saw one from Bolton. Has Nandina built a splash pad anywhere?
They do not have experience in splash pads. We
They
have
do
not
not
seen
have
that. That was not in
experience.
their proposal. That's
Okay.
correct.
Could you go back to the yes, nos and the evaluation sheet? I think that's probably the one before this.
This one,
Yeah.
yep. hmm
Okay, so,
This was one person's input, so this doesn't capture every single person that put in the
no,
yes,
but
nos. Yeah.
we have no experience with Bolton, but we have experience with Nandina, according to this. This is previous experience with City of
That's
Hardeeville.
correct. The Nandina civil engineers have worked in the city of Hardeeville, but neither of the other civil engineers have worked here. Yes.
And what was the quality of the work of Nandina that they'd done prior?
Unfortunately, I wasn't on those projects, and I know that our civil engineer has worked with Nandina elsewhere, which I don't want to speak for her, but it was within her score sheet how she scored them. So
Well, I guess the reason I'm asking, if we have doubts about them, let's go back and see how they performed the last time. And now I do prefer, because I know from Bluffton, they've had some issues. You just don't put in a splash pad and walk away.
right.
So I like the idea of going with the one that has splash pad experience.
Which
but
Mr. Gruber requested that I reach out to Bluffton and get a comprehensive debrief from them, and I've done
Yeah,
that.
I
And
think
some of the complexities, or should I say the afterthoughts, those are things that we've already incorporated into our programming. So
Yeah,
yeah, their
let's-
struggles, we're
Yeah.
clearly learning from them that this is what you have to have up front. Mhm.
So if we have the ability to learn from our neighbors, let's
Yeah.
take that advantage.
And I know Jen may have had some things that she wanted to touch on. I'd like to give her an opportunity to speak if that's okay. I don't know if Jen, you had experience with Nandina, but you've been here longer than I have, so yeah. Okay.
So that might have been a long time ago. I don't remember
It has, yeah.
hearing that name.
Mayor, I can speak to having worked with Nandina, and they have done work for us fairly recently. Now, it was surveying work, so it's not the same, but they did perform just fine. There's been no issues there. I think more of the concern is that in their background, there doesn't appear to be a lot of prior experience in this particular area.
This is very
So,
specialty.
Again, because
Yeah.
to make clear, I don't think there's any concerns about them being able to perform. It's just that they don't have the same level of experience as Bolton and Meg. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
I think that, to me, that's the one factor that tips the scale. I think it's better to have, this is a specialized product. It's not something everybody does every day, so, thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
As this is a resolution and it does only require one reading, I will ask council is there enough concern to possibly table this until more discussion with Nandina is completed?
I don't have any. I don't.
I don't, I've made up my mind.
I don't have any.
Okay. With that, then, I will ask if there is a motion from public comment, I'm sorry, I forgot. Is there anybody from the public here or on the internet who has any questions? Seeing none, I will ask if there is a motion for approval, disapproval, or any changes to Resolution 2026-02-05E.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we go along with Jody's recommendation on her expertise and her committee, and go along with her recommendation for 2026-02-05F.
E.
E.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Van.
Yes.
Moving on, this is item F. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hardeeville, South Carolina, expressing support for the University of South Carolina Beaufort Sand Shark 2020 project. This is Resolution 2026-02-05F. Take it away, Mr. Gruber.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So at your last meeting, I believe, Dr. Panu came before you and presented the Sand Shark 2020 project, which is a very ambitious effort that they have to construct some athletic improvements and some other infrastructure improvements on their Bluffton, or their main campus location. So at this point, what we are looking to do is to have you consider adoption of a resolution which expresses support for the concepts outlined in Dr. Panu's presentation. What it does not do is commit any financial support at this time. Obviously, there needs to be some more information about the project and some more details before we consider something like that. But at this point, you are being asked to publicly express support for the concept of the project itself.
Thank you very much. I will start with council comments. I will start with Councilman, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, Councilwoman Guzman.
I have no comments on that.
Councilman White.
No additional comments.
Councilman Carroll.
No comments.
I have no comments. Mayor.
The request to put a letter of support came to me from Dr. Panu, and it's so important to have a healthy and vibrant college system right in our town. And there's a little toe of USCB in Hardeeville. And I think it's important to support their initiatives. Whether or not they ever find the money to do everything they want to do, that's really separate from this issue. But showing support for our local university, I would ask council to please pass this.
All right. Thank you very much. Do I have anybody from the public who likes to address this issue, or the internet? Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion for approval, disapproval, or any changes to Resolution 2026-02-05F.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve, echoing the mayor's suggestion, that we approve Resolution 2026-02-05F.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Thank you. We move on to the manager's report. Mr. Gruber.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We had an opportunity to introduce a couple new staff members this evening. We did have, unfortunately, 2 staff members submit notices of resignation. Ultimately, they've got family commitments that are pulling them elsewhere. And so, unfortunately, we do have a couple folks that are going to be leaving us. But otherwise, we've been very successful in trying to fill our current vacancies that we have, both within police, fire, and throughout the city. But just wanted to kind of give you a quick status update on that as well. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report this evening.
Thank you very much. We will start with reverse alphabetical order tonight. No, we will start with alphabetical order. I think that was the best way. We will go with Councilman Carroll.
I don't have a whole lot to report. I have been, it'll be your turn in a minute. I have been working on a project for the mayor and I think I don't know if you remember, but anyway.
I do remember.
And I have got that 3/4 successful. And also, I've been doing a few things with LCOG, and I've talked to the new director, and things are looking really good. That was one tough, hard project, but anyway, it's done. That's it.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Guzman.
I keep it short.
Yeah.
I have a huge shout out to go out to our Public Works Department The last couple of days and weeks, I have seen our folks up and down in their pickup trucks, picking up trash up and down the road. I don't understand why people have the need to throw trash out their windows as they go driving along, and these folks are out there picking up bags and bags and bags of trash. And I just want to say a huge thank you to those gentlemen who were out there that day, and a huge thank you to Public Works for doing what they do to keep our city clean. Another shout out to Mr. Gruber and Neil for a very successful retreat. I think the venue was perfect. I think it lent to a lot of creativity coming out of the staff. There was a lot of camaraderie in there, and I think a lot of good things came out of that retreat. So thank you. That's it.
Councilman White?
I would agree with what Val said about a retreat. I thought that was very valuable. I've spent some of my time going to the ALCOG and some of the other council meetings to just get a feel of not only what we're doing, but regional issues, and that's been very helpful. I don't have anything other than that to add.
Thank you very much. Before I yield the floor to the mayor, I'd like to thank the city staff for all that you do. It's an amazing amount of work. We are not the small city. I said it before. We're not the cocoon stage. We're the butterfly now. I just saw the other day, Jasper County is the second fastest growing county percentage-wise in the nation. And Hardeeville is the driving force behind that. In the 7 years that I've lived here, we have grown immensely. John's getting me to speak the right language, so.
I'm working on it.
Yes, I know, and you're working on that. The retreat was very educational. I think a lot of good ideas have come out of that. The mayor has come up with a list of goals, and I think every one of them is within our grasp. We on the council are each going to take a few of those and track them from concept to completion. It may not happen overnight, but eventually we will get there, and we will be making reports at our monthly meetings to each other and to staff and to the public as we move ahead with that. I did attend the thing with the Bluffton Chamber of Commerce the other day. That was very informative also. We are one community. Jasper County, Beaufort County, but Hardeeville, Bluffton, Hilton Head, the city of Beaufort, Ridgeland, we are all one community. We're separated maybe by some miles, but we are all one community. When people travel through Hardeeville on their way to Hilton Head, Bluffton, or wherever, they need to be aware that we are Hardeeville. We are not just an extension on 278. We do need to get our zip codes in line. We have one zip code. We need to get some signage on the interstate from DOT saying Hardeeville. The sign says Sun City and it says Beaufort. Yeah, and it even says MCAS. You know, the Marines are somewhere in there too, and I agree. But we want people to know that when they come off of 95 and they're traveling down 278 or exit 5, they're in Hardeeville, a city that we're very proud of. With that, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. As I reported at the retreat, I did go to SCAD Day on the 24th. And again, I highly recommend, just 30 minutes away, we have a college of tremendously talented and creative people. And wherever we can find ways to collaborate with them, I think they could be a big help. On the 26th, Josh and I spoke to a group of high school students. And the focus of that speech was to tell the students, hey, stay in school. There's a lot of new job opportunities for you, no matter what you're interested in. I think it was very well received. And Mr. Raleigh, the principal there, was very appreciative. And I will reach out to Ms. Maybank of Ridgeland, and perhaps we could take our little show on the road, right, Mr. Gruber?
Yes, sir.
But it was really fun to do, and I was I think the kids reacted to it really well. Also, that later that day, the Jasper County School District had a meeting down the street here at St. Stephen's, just giving an update to where we're going, what they're doing, and Dr. Hickson did a really good job, and I'm really encouraged that the school district is going in a good direction. And I understand that the first audit year that they were working on, which is 22-23, has been completed, so now they can go on to the next year. So they're making progress. Soloco was the next day, and this is something for every one of us. We changed the next Soloco meeting to the 23rd at 9 o'clock, and it will be in Bluffton's new facility called The Barn. And I've invited every state representative and senator that represents the Low Country. I only have one no so far. We have 2 senators, and I expect a good turnout. And they'll each come in and tell us about some of the key legislation that's going to affect our area and give us all an opportunity to question them and get a better understanding, because I know some of us have been asked to advocate and support certain issues. So every elected official in Jasper and Beaufort County are going to be invited. So all 5 of us, as many who have time that Monday morning, please join us and hear from our delegation. I'll echo what everybody said about the retreat. That was a really good, productive day. Had a couple speaking, one speaking engagement in Sun City, and then we had the transportation sales tax meeting here. I think what the county's doing and having regular public hearings about how the transportation sales tax money is being spent is really, really good. So what everybody might be of interest, Argent Boulevard, which is a constant conversation because there's so many homes being built along there, we are going to make that a federal project. And what that does is we can have access to, it has to be applied and everything. We have access to an additional $12 million in addition to the $57 million that the sales tax aligns with. There's a little more permitting and issues that we have to do for that $12 million, which will make it a little longer process, but I think it's worth it for $12 million. So that was a good decision, I think. I went to the Jasper County Council meeting this past Monday night. They had a difficult decision with a new sand mine that's being proposed. That's a tough decision, and I think they handled it well. They asked the right questions. And then on the 3rd, the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce had their Connect breakfast at the rec center. And what was great about it was most of those business owners were in the rec for the very first time. And I think making more of a connection, what Steve said about this being one region, if we can connect the businesses with Hardeeville and our next door neighbor, I think we could make everybody a little stronger. And one last thing for staff, Jody, Josh, think about that $3 million. We all know that the signs on I-95 are bringing a lot of people into our city to use the dog park. They, during the summer, they'll probably stop in the splash pads as well. So maybe, just maybe, ATAX funds could be used to build part of that, because that will be a tourist attraction, and if we have the chamber put a sign up there about a splash pad, we can draw in a lot of people off I-95.
I'll paint one for nothing, get it up there.
You paint one? Okay.
I've seen your artwork.
So,
Amazing, isn't it?
yeah. So I would encourage you to look into that funding option. And maybe that'll relieve some of the general obligation lending that we have to do, or borrowing, I should say.
Great idea.
Is that?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I am finished, and I just want to say you did a marvelous job, and you should do it again, because that way we can have your beautiful wife come and watch.
Boy, you took away my brownie points that I was going to get.
Okay,
But,
and you
before we-
will, your next chance will be the second meeting in March. I will be on vacation.
All right, thank you, sir. Before I do ask for adjournment, I would like to thank you, Mayor, for giving me this opportunity, and I'd like to thank staff, especially Cindy, Josh, and Prina, for helping me get through this without me looking foolish at times.
Well, mostly.
Okay, John. With that, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
is made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is made and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, meeting is over.
She's getting ahead of you tonight.